There's a limit to how many kinds of rares and uniques you can play, right?
Yes. A deck is comprised of at least 39 cards, so there's no upper limit to that, but 39 is the minimum. A max of 15 rares and a maximum of 3 uniques. So you can't have a deck that's all rare. You know, parang sa ibang card games I used to play, I didn't mention this.
You just pay to win.
Yeah, or I used to play Digimon actually. So that's
Digimon, yeah.
And you know, most people would create decks with several secret rares.
That's
or
it.
Super rares and like just super broken na yung deck. But here, like you can't have a broken deck. You're limited, so you have to be strategic in identifying. Anong card kaya ang gusto kong rare? Which card am I okay with just the common?
Am I right to describe it as that part being algorithmically generated? Like, uniques are truly unique. That's one cool thing about this game is this unique is one of a kind.
Yes.
You're watching another episode of The Games We Play by Playcafe. My name is Leo. This is a podcast that talks about, well, the games we play. Today, we have Altered TCG, and we invite a very special friend of ours, Mark, to talk us through the journey. Mark, kumusta?
I'm good. Thank you, Dan.
This is a new trading card game, came out around 2024, locally at least, developed by Equinox, published by Asmodee. Before we get into this game, I'm gonna ask you first, how'd you start out as a gamer?
Yeah, so when I was younger, I used to play a lot of the older card games, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, actually, Force of Will, Duel Masters.
Wow, Force of Will.
Yes.
Oh.
I know, very archaic. Wala na yun ngayon, yeah.
A good chunk of those games are Japanese. This is a Western game.
Yes, actually. Yeah, and then late last year, around December, I was walking around the mall with my girlfriend, and then we actually saw Altered in one of the card shops there displayed. So I knew about the game earlier last year when it was still in Kickstarter. Di pa siya nagla-launch noon, and then I was surprised actually to see na it was already in shelves here in the Philippines. So you know, I decided to get the deck or two. Kami ng girlfriend ko naglaro, and then we actually enjoyed it. I would say it's a card game for gamers, kasi a lot of card games right now, you know, there's a collecting side to it, right? Like if you think about Pokemon, right, it's half players, half collectors. So Altered is really for players. So it's a game meant to be played.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Or once we get into the nitty-gritty, you guys will know that this is a game that you want to play. Parang the wow factor comes not just when you look at the cards, which is a whole thing entirely, but when you play, you're like, oh, ganun pala yun. If you're enjoying this so far and you want to learn more about games like Altered, please like and subscribe to this video and to the channel, because there's a whole lot more we'll be going through. Check out the past few episodes. We talk about other games. Back to Altered here. You bought one of these, I assume.
Two of them actually.
Two of them. Which ones?
So I got Ordis.
Okay, the blue one?
Yeah. And Muna, the green one.
Okay, Ordis and Muna. In Altered, there are 6 main colors. And what do you call them? Houses?
Factions.
Factions.
Yes.
There you go. And you can't mix.
No, you can't.
They do not.
Mono decks only.
Yes. So that already defines your mechanics, that defines how you play. And, okay, long and short of it, Mark, correct me if I'm wrong, this is how you define how you win Altered. This is how I like to describe it to people when I teach. You want your, ano tawag dito, your leader? Your hero.
Your hero, yeah.
You want your hero to hug their pet. Paunahan kayo.
That's one way to put it. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So compared to other games, it's not a combat game.
No, it's not. It's not.
Yeah,
It's definitely not. Yeah.
So how would you describe the gameplay of Altered?
Okay, so essentially you control a pair of exalts, which is the hero and his companion, and then the goal of the game is to embark on expeditions to reunite your hero and your companion. So that could mean that ginagalaw mo lang yung hero side mo, ginagalaw mo lang yung companion side, but essentially the first player to meet and reunite their exalts wins the game.
So it's a horizontal racing game.
Yes, essentially.
There's so many ways you can think about it. Pwede siyang racing, pwede siyang slow contests, from one end to the other. And that's essentially the game. It's so simple, but also it's so unique. We'll put up a picture of one of the cards here for you guys to understand. A card is a cost. in the upper left corner. A card has another cost in the bottom of that. Ano yun?
Yeah. So that is the so yung nasa taas, that's the play cost from hand, and then yung nasa baba is the play cost from your reserve, which is a mechanic very unique to Altered.
It's like a pocket dimension.
Yes. So
Like
every
extra
time
hand.
you play a card, but you get a second chance to play it from reserve, and sometimes the effects would differ.
And then just below that, you have three main stats, which is, I like to call green, orange, and blue.
Yeah, so those regions are the forest, the mountain, and the ocean. So that would decide. So instead of your usual attack, defense, or life, attack, whatever, you are essentially competing to win on one of these statistics in every region of the board.
So the map cards or tiles have stats. So parang this is a forest, this is a mountain, this is
An ocean.
an ocean.
Yeah.
And then that's how good these cards are. That's their parang strength that they assert
Yes,
when they're
so-
competing to move forward from that tile.
Yes.
And then below that is just text and then a QR code. I think there's a lot of videos on YouTube that you guys can look through. A lot of content that you can digest para mag-gets nyo paano maglaro ng Altered. But let's talk about something very interesting about this game. What is that QR code?
Okay, so every card has a QR code sa lower right. So essentially, Altered kasi is what Equinox likes to call a phygital card game. So it's physical and digital. So it's actually the first card game to incorporate a lot of digital aspects into not just the game but the ecosystem itself. So when you scan these QR codes, so they're one-time use only. It provides you digital ownership over that card.
We're talking digital ownership, not like on the blockchain or like an
No,
NFT.
no,
No, there's a game app
Yes.
that was developed from the ground up that allows you to basically, at the start of the game's lifespan, track your collection?
Yes. Track your collection, trade with other players.
Yes.
But eventually, recently actually, they opened up a marketplace. And
Worldwide?
So for now, it's in Europe, North America, and yeah, Europe and North America mostly.
For now?
For now. But they did commit to expanding to Asia in the future. Yeah.
Okay, so basically on that part of the app, in that ecosystem of the game, pwede ka nang bumili ng cards diretso. Or
Yes.
trade even.
Yes. So the reason why you would want these in your collection kasi is Equinox is actually partnered with an online board game platform where you can actually play your cards or your deck digitally. So yung decks mo that you own physically, unlike kasi let's say Pokemon, we do know Pokemon has digital app, right?
TCG Live.
Yeah, TCG Live. But your physical collection does not correlate with your digital collection, right?
Nothing to do with it.
You get the codes sa likod per
That's it.
pack. It's random.
Uh-huh.
You don't get the exact same
It's
cards.
detached from your
Yes.
collection.
So sa Altered, it's completely what you get in your pack is what you get in your digital collection. So you can play that directly online, and there's a whole system of rankings and online leagues for that. But essentially, you get to play your physical cards as they are digitally.
And then that's it. Like there's very little difference between what you have here and online.
Yes.
The fact is physical lang. That's it.
Yes.
And I think currently Equinox is still adding features to this app. Like more ways for you to enjoy your physical cards through the app or online.
Yes.
Meron pa yan, meron pang pipeline yan. But
Yeah.
in the game's year and a half lifespan, ito yung current features.
Actually, wala pang 1 year.
Wala pa ba?
Yeah, October eh. So
Right.
it's under a year pa. So it's just a lot to know.
Yeah, because the game is a Kickstarter game. So I guess
Yes.
there was the parang first half of the game's lifespan that was on that. Tapos ngayon, it's commercially available. If you guys, at any point in this recording, feel like you want to try in, just buy one of these starters. Pwede na. Moving on. So that is the unique parts of Altered so far. Diba? Parang, it's not a combat game, physical and digital integration. But what is it like? What is it similar to? You mentioned you played Duel Masters, Force of Will, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! Are there anything from those games that you can take into this na parang, okay, so it's like that?
it's hard to compare it how similar it would be to other games kasi nga it's so unique, and also that's also part of why me and my friends we got really into it kasi it's not your usual I have my life, you have your life, we have our creatures, you have your creatures, I attack you, your creature is dead, or I damage your life. Hindi siya ganun eh. So it's really, although you play within your own expeditions, para manalo ka, there's a lot of board manipulation din eh, to influence, stalling your opponent, setting up for later plays. So it's very different. It's hard to compare to other games, and that's also why I think it's something easy for casual players to get into. It's not something as hardcore as, let's say, Magic or Flesh and Blood. You don't have
Oh,
to
yeah.
get into the weeds
Oh yeah.
to really play the game and have fun. It's something you can play with someone who's maybe new to board games or new to card games actually.
A couple of things that I now acknowledge when talking about Altered is this is through gameplay and through just watching. You mentioned hindi siya parang Flesh and Blood, hindi siya parang Magic. In one way, I think is because it's non-confrontational. Yes, you are competing to move, but wala yung feeling ng why are you attacking me? Like,
Yeah.
bakit tayo nag-aaway?
Yes.
To be honest, it's really just, again, I just want to hug my pet, It's like,
Yeah.
I want Kojo to get to Buddha, man.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's a positive feeling to that na parang, okay, let's do it again, let's play again. You hugged your dude first, but I want to go again. And do you notice that, like, when you teach the game?
Oh yeah, I've taught a lot of newbies over the past month or two, and a lot of them really enjoy it kasi nga it doesn't have that, I guess, yung feeling nga sa traditional card games sa parang it's a match. We're fighting against each other. Hindi ganun eh. And with new players would eventually see this with the way the board is set up. May randomness din kasi dun sa region. So every game, aside from the randomness of your deck,
Yes.
iba-iba din yung magiging labanan nyo.
Yeah.
Every
So-
time you yeah.
It harkens to some big games that got popular in the past few years. Is para siyang roguelike.
Yes.
It's like,
yeah.
I have to figure out how to make this work. My deck is usually very strong in forests and mountains, but there's a lot of oceans to
Yeah.
start. I'm
Yes.
stuck. So it's a thinky game too. You also mentioned how a lot of board gamers might like this, and that's true. You look at a board of Altered, it's very different from when you look at a board of Magic, board of Fab, a board of Pokemon even.
Yeah.
How things are like very fixed. Dito, the cards are constantly moving.
Yep.
There's a physical aspect to it too. When you upgrade your tokens, they can stand, right? Like there's
They're
acrylics.
standees, yeah.
Yeah. So ayun, I like that the game is like that. And those are some similarities maybe that we can bring in when we teach friends or when you guys are listening. It's like, ganun pala yung Altered. I didn't know. But one thing that I think is very different is the fact that no matter what happens, your decks are mono. You mentioned we talked about this earlier. Your decks are mono. How do you find that so far?
Actually, there's a caveat to that. So the decks are mono. So when you play, for instance, you play Muna, you're only playing Muna. But considering kasi the rarity system of the cards, so you have commons, rares, and uniques. We'll get to the uniques later.
We'll post these up. Like a card can be of the same name, be
Yeah.
in different rarities, but
But every card has what you call the out of faction. So a card from Muna can actually be used. Let's say there's a card from Muna that is out of faction, let's say in Ordis.
it becomes blue.
So it becomes blue.
It's originally green, and then you see it. Meron pala nun
Yeah.
in blue.
Yeah. So there's a bit of wiggle room in trying to adjust your deck. So you depending on the type of player you're playing against, medyo iba yung strategies. Sometimes they're a Muna player but they're leaning towards the cards from, let's say, Bravos, or you're an Izmir player but they're leaning towards the cards from Ordis. So there's a lot of different and I guess I always tell the new players this. It's a low skill floor, high skilling game. High skill ceiling game. So it's easy to learn. Actually, even the starter decks could could be competitive enough kahit sa mga
Oh, yeah.
constructed decks.
This is pretty broken.
Yeah.
The blue one. Get the blue one. Or this.
Yes. So you don't have to be parang hindi kailangan you've spent hundreds of dollars or thousands of pesos creating your perfect deck. Kasi there's also limitations in how strong you can make your deck.
I totally agree. And don't be intimidated by the rarity. Because sometimes the rare or the common will do exactly what you need. You don't have to hunt
Yes.
for the unique. Which now brings us to the card rarities. We started this tangent with deck building. And you have to consider rarities play a role. There's a limit to how many kinds of rares and uniques you can play, right?
Yes. So a deck is comprised of at least 39 cards. So there's no upper limit to that, but 39 is the minimum. A max of 15 rares and a maximum of 3 uniques. So you can't have a deck that's all rare. Parang sa ibang card games I used to play, I didn't mention this.
You just pay to win.
Yeah, or I used to play Digimon actually. So that's one of-
Digimon, yeah.
And most people would create decks with several secret rares
That's
or
it, just-
super rares and like just super broken na yung deck. But here like you can't have a broken deck. You're limited. So you have to be strategic in identifying anong card kaya ang gusto kong rare? Which card am I okay with just the common? So it's a lot of din.
There has to be the veggies.
Yes.
In other terms. So 15 rares, 3 uniques, and the rest has to be the common. So bubuin yun. So it's a puzzle. Like choosing your hero, choosing your faction, choosing what 15 rares and 3 uniques you bring in.
Yeah.
And if you'll notice, uniques go ham. Uniques are crazy. Am I right to describe it as that part being algorithmically generated? Like uniques are truly unique. That's one cool thing about this game is this unique is one of a kind.
Yes. So the way the uniques work is that the Equinox has set up some kind of algorithm that generates these things automatically. So when you own a unique, nobody else in the world has the exact same unique as you do. Maybe it's may mga similar na parang counting effects na pinagkaiba,
It
but
looks similar.
yeah, they always would look similar, but the effects are just sayo lang. So if you are able to pull a nutty unique, like that's yours, and those can cost up to hundreds of dollars or euros. But that's something that people don't really need to get into. Like you don't need a unique to win. Actually, some people hold no unique tournaments.
And that unique is one in your deck.
Yeah, that's one. What are
one of
the
39.
odds?
Yeah.
What are the odds, right?
One of 39, one of 3.
Yes.
And sometimes again the map won't even do what you need it to do sometimes to take advantage of maybe what your unique has.
Yeah.
So I guess it's balance in that sense. But for those of y'all who are adrenaline junkies who want to draw and pull. Oh, there it is. Meron pa rin.
Yeah. It's still something to chase. Like there's no alternate art cards here like in most TCG, especially the ones from Japan. But if you're one to chase for those uniques, then go ahead. I mean, open as much boxes as you want. Malay nyo, makakuha kayo ng magandang unique, right?
Yeah,
Especially for your faction.
We have been hyping up how this is a gamer's game, but there's still that aspect of collecting.
Yes.
Like if you want to be a collector, if you want to have the nuttiest uniques, the craziest uniques with, look at this, it has 33 power in mountain. I don't think that's ever gonna happen. I'm just saying, diba? Parang there is that.
Yeah.
You can play it like that, and the art is beautiful. It's so pretty. It's not anime. It's not 3D. I can't tell.
Actually, you would see here the progression of the art. Nag-iiba yan eh. So the
Through
common,
rarities.
yeah.
Yeah.
So common, the rare, and the unique. So gumaganda yung art.
Oh, yeah.
The rarer the version of it is.
Ayun. So there is a progression there for
Yeah.
those who love the art. Again, for collectors, this time we're talking about.
Yeah.
Check out Altered. There is a database, right? Like you just if people are like super skeptical about before I buy, there's a card database.
Yes. So the app/the website
there you
has
go.
all the cards that you want to see, from alt arts to promo cards, hero cards, like nandun lahat. So you can actually also deck build there. So you can theory craft dun palang mismo.
Okay. And these are for people who have their foot in the door, who have already been sold on the first 20 minutes of this conversation, or have been watching and consuming altered content before getting in. Because that was me. That was me before I started my own journey with Altered about a year ago, ang tagal ko nang naririnig tong Altered. Because
Yeah.
again, it was a Kickstarter darling. Like, people fell in love with it.
Yeah.
Where were you when that happened? Like, what was your first thoughts about Altered before you bought in last December?
So I was also in the same page. No? So I was aware that it was the most successful Kickstarter TCG at the time, and I had my reservations initially. Kasi nga, Kickstarter project, right? Equinox wasn't a big name yet.
It's Western.
Yeah, yeah. Usually Japanese card games ang sikat dito. Well, I mean, outside of Flesh and Blood and Magic, it's usually what? Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Digimon, One Piece, and the likes.
Oh yeah, One Piece.
Yeah. So yun yung sikat dito. But I mean, trying. It's a bit difficult to understand until you actually see the game. And I see this in a lot of the new players that I teach it to. So pag nalago nila yung game and they actually get into it and have fun with their friends. Like casual games lang, you don't even have to be like really competing. Just playing the game for the sake of playing it, it gets really fun talaga.
And I want to know what that moment was like for you. What was the aha moment? They were like, let's throw back to December last year, maybe a little after that, when you bought your first decks. What was it about the game that made you go, I want to play more, I want to buy more?
So I mentioned to you the card games that I played. Wala kasing aspect of dun sa most of the games that I played, walang aspect of parang unpredictability. Usually kasi when you play card games, you know the archetype of your opponent's deck, di ba? You're playing this kind of deck, so I know yung strategy or win conditions niyan. These are altered. Yes, each faction has its own parang generic strategy, but after playing a couple of games in December with my friends, I realized na you can't actually always predict what your opponent's going to play, and even the way you're going to play your deck, hindi mo rin mape-predict because of how the nature of the randomness of the cards, the expedition, the board. So sabi ko, this is something I can get behind. Na parang it doesn't get stale as fast na, okay, this is my deck, my win condition is I have to deploy this, do this combo.
In this order?
Yeah. Diba? Hindi ganun. Like, there's always flexibility na, okay, I can't do this combo, so maybe I'll do this instead. And then you'd be surprised how effective you could, you just did something.
And then may aha moment like, I made that work. I can't believe I made that work.
Yeah.
And you're right. Most card games strive for consistency. They're like, you want your deck to behave this way.
Yeah.
You want to draw this card in this turn. Yeah, for Altered, you have to face that when you shuffle up, when you figure out what the tiles are looking like and who you're playing. Tapos yun nga, your deck, like you don't know what cards you're gonna draw.
Yeah. I guess also one thing, no. So I know Pokemon and Magic. So you don't draw the energy that you need. You're
down.
You're done. Like you're not doing anything for the turn. Here kasi, whatever you draw, there's something that you can do. You don't have to be waiting for the perfect hand, the perfect combo pieces. Kung ano yung nasa kamay mo, you just play it and then tingnan mo kung ano mangyayari.
Oh yeah, in case we haven't mentioned yet, this game uses any card as a resource as the mechanic. So don't worry about mana screw, don't worry about like resource screw. Again, nasa sarili mo siyang diskarte.
Yeah.
So it's a very gamery game, but just the same, it's very friendly to casuals. The reason why I'm so hooked about it is it's so unique in that sense, in so many ways actually. But for number one is, whenever I have to teach the game, I get a little giddy because that's how I describe it. It's like, dude, you just have to hug your friend. Just go to your giant wolf, go to your little baby cat, go to your, what is that, like a dragon, your little ghost thing, your little robot. And like that alone makes me want to play again. That alone makes me go, yeah, this is a cool game. And that's why I can't take it off my shelf. As much as I'd like, as much as I'd like to go, like, I'm playing too many games, man. There's a special place in my heart for Altered.
Yes.
For the many people who have that special place in their heart, the community of Altered, can you describe what that's like? Are you guys competitive? Meron bang collectors? Meron bang mga weird deck brewers? What's it like?
So okay, so the community, so it's still growing. It's not as big as established games, obviously. There's a bit of parang faction war if you put it that way. So parang people want to get more people into their faction because of the nature of the championships. So right now most games are played in neutral grounds.
They carry the game first, like locally.
Yeah, so the expeditions and championships. But we're actually trying to grow the game beyond just the usual areas of neutral ground. So actually, I myself, we've played here before sa Play Cafe. We held a casual expedition here, I think a month ago. So yeah, I mean, we can hold demos here in Play Cafe if anyone's interested to play.
We have the starter decks.
Yeah,
We have
they
packs.
have the packs. Yeah.
Ito na yun. Kayo na lang inaantay. What is an expedition? Like you mentioned a certain few terms that even I'm not so sure about. What is an expedition?
So expedition is essentially the term for a tournament. So altered tournaments that are not championships are called expeditions because of the nature of the game, nga, di ba? You embark on an expedition.
The journey.
To hug your friend, your tiger, dragon. Yeah.
Okay, so it's an expedition and that's a tournament. What's a championship?
So right now we have what's called the Tumult Championships.
Tumult.
It's a play on the word tumultuous, given the nature of the game, right? Like parang magulo. It's chaotic,
Dangerous.
yeah. So those are held every season. Seasons are tied to the set. So
Right.
incoming set 3, that means it's season 3, and those are held at once per branch if it's neutral grounds. But if it's going to be Play Cafe, then it's going to be just one Tumult Championship. So
it's a store championship.
yes, essentially a store championship. So high stakes, high rewards. You get a champion play mat.
Bring your best decks.
Oh yeah. So yeah, very competitive pang ganun. But for expeditions, like people just like to play their fun decks usually and just have fun.
Their brews. Real quick before we wrap this up, best of threes or best of ones?
Best of ones.
So that's it. You just hug your friend once it's over. I'm
Yeah.
done. I'm packing up. Next
Yeah.
round. Okay, cool. Before we go, any last words that I didn't get to pull out of you? Any words you want to share? Thoughts for would-be altered players?
Yeah, so if you actually go to yung online partner ng Equinox for their digital platform, Board Game Arena,
Board
you
Game
can
Arena.
actually try the starter decks for free.
They're all there.
They're all there. So you might want to try it out a bit, and then if you decide na maybe I like Kojo and Buddha, then go to the store, buy the starter deck, and then get started from there. So you don't have to invest agad. You can try them out first and then decide which one you like better.
Fun pala to, di ba?
Yeah.
Ito pala yung sinasabi nilang, parang racing game kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, boardgamearena.com, no spaces, no dashes,
Yeah.
boardgamearena.com. Also, while you're there, open up another window, watch a tutorial video.
Oh, yeah.
Because the online browser-based client is clean.
Yes.
It lets you do all the actions and it guides you through what's possible. Pero yun nga lang, you might get lost.
Yes.
So still watch a video and then play on Board Game Arena and then you can buy your decks
Yeah.
and you can play. Thank you again so much, Mark, for joining us. He said it already. If you want to set up a learn to play, where can they find you? How can they reach you?
I mean, they can just drop me a message on Facebook, and then we'd be happy to set up some kind of demo, learn to play. We're always open for that. Like we're always passionate about growing the community, kasi nga we'd love more people to get into the game because it's really, really fun.
Around here in the BGC area?
Oh yeah, here,
nearby.
BGC, Makati, like anywhere.
There is a community on Facebook. There's a group.
Yes.
Altered
Altered
TCG Philippines. Yeah. Make sure you put the TCG. It ends up somewhere if you don't type that in. So Altered TCG Philippines. Look for Mark. Look for other Altered TCG players in the area, whether it be BGC, Taguig, Pasig, around the area
Yeah.
nearby Play Cafe. And I hope that we see another expedition come up or another tumult if possible. Kasi sasali ako doon. I swear. I kept my cards. I've been sitting on it. It's like, should I sell this? Should I trade? No, I will keep my altered because me and my girlfriend like it too.
Yeah.
Like, kami yung nag-start and I'm like, baby, ganito yun. Just hug your friend.
Actually, interestingly enough, ako din, kami ng girlfriend kong
Yeah.
first na naglaro nito eh.
So this might be your next couple game. For all the gamers out there, all the dudes who are frustrated, like, I can't get my significant other to try card games with me. This might be it.
Oh,
all
yeah.
right. So that's been another episode of the games we play by Play Cafe. We are located here in Upper McKinley, Tuscany. It's up the hill. Just walk up. There's a lot of free parking. Open from 2 p.m. to 2 a.m. On weekends, though, it's 10 a.m. to 2 a.m. Magdamagan na to. Mark, again, thank you so much.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you.
I hope to see you across the table, and let's just some altered games going.
Yeah.
Bye. Like and subscribe. Peace.